Hello, welcome to the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel. My name is Donna Tushoff, and today we are going to be making a card using the Easter eggs die set. This die set has a few different sizes of eggs in different patterns, and it also has some accent pieces like flowers and some bunny ears, and also some greetings that can be cut out as well. We're going to start. I took an A2 card panel and I cut out the three smaller eggs. Even though there's designs in there, it still made egg shapes when you cut those out. The designs cut out, and I have those put off to the side to use at another time, but I don't need them for this card. I wanted to make a random pattern of eggs on this. And what I'm going to use this for is I'm going to use this as my own homemade stencil. And I wanted my background to just be um, eggs randomly on my card. I didn't have a stencil like that, so I made my own stencil by cutting out these eggs and on this panel. So I'm going to make rainbow eggs. So I'm going to start in the top left corner, and I've sped up this video. I don't stencil that quickly. Um, and I'm starting with a light pink on the top left corner, just stenciling it in. You can see I taped this panel to my card panel that I'm actually stenciling on, just so that it wouldn't move. Like I said, I'm going to do a rainbow. So I'm going to use, it's a kind of a coral color, but it's kind of an orangish color. So I'm going to use that next as my part of my rainbow. And I'm trying to make sure that I mix that color back into the pink so that it blends very well together. And most of my blended colors I'm trying to do on the eggs, not in between the eggs. Next is a beautiful light yellow color that I'm going to put on here next to that orange. Again, making sure that I blend back into that orange so that it looks like a very beautiful blended pattern. And if you couldn't guess it, the next color after the yellow is going to be a kind of a mint green that I'm going to use. But I'm trying to make sure that each of the eggs has a good amount of yellow on them. I'm going to come in with a mint green and give a quick layer of that. And you can make your own handmade stencils. I just used a cardstock. You could use like an acetate, or you can also get kind of a thicker stencil material to cut into. I just used a heavy cardstock for this, and then I can decide to save this once I'm done, or I can throw it out. I probably wouldn't stencil again, because I'd probably mix colors unless I was using the same colors. Here we're using a little light blue as the next layer, but it was so easy to make this that I could just make another stencil if I wanted to. I might just keep this because it would be fun to use as a background with white in the middle or something else in the middle, maybe black, something like that. I'd have to fill in where those tape pieces are. And here's my last color, the light purple, because since I have tape on there, there's going to be a little white spot. So here's the reveal. There's my random eggs that is going to serve as the background of my card, all made for my little homemade stencil using the Easter eggs Pixie Dust Designs die set. Next, I had already cut out, just to save some time, a bunch of eggs out of some pastel colors. And for this one, I started paper piecing. I have a pink background egg, and I'm using a light purple to piece into it. The light purple um, was the leftover pieces from cutting out that swirly design egg, and I just decided to save the inside pieces and paper piece them on here. And what I'm going to do then is remove that the outside piece, what I call the outside piece, the regular piece of that egg, and you'll see it's kind of an interesting different take for this. So I'm just going to add those two last pieces in here with some liquid glue. I do have that die cut piece that I'm piecing into. I do have it taped with just a little bit of tape on it so that it doesn't shift while I'm gluing these pieces in. Don't want it to shift since I'm trying to fill in the spaces. So I take that tape off, and we'll see what it looks like once you take that off and see the paper piecing here. But you do it carefully because some of that glue sometimes seeps under, so you have to make sure that you just be real careful and you don't let it set for too long because you do want to be able to remove it without tearing your paper or leaving some of that purple stuck onto that pink area that you don't want. And in the end, you have a pink egg with these purple pieces um, as a design on that egg, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to use the part that I was piecing into, and I'm going to put that on top of a green egg. So it's kind of a twofer on this one. Again, I'll just use some liquid glue to put this on to this green egg. And you can see in my tray I have all those white eggs that I cut out to make my stencil, and then I have several others of the all different size eggs that I cut in the different pastel colors, as long as also some of the bunny ears and some flowers that I cut out for my pastel colors. We're going to be using those to build this card. So there you have my second egg out of that one purple piece that was cut. Now I'm going to take my eggs and start kind of laying them out what I want. I'm going to divide them up by sizes, shapes, ones that, well, they're all egg shapes, but ones that are decorated with designs, ones that aren't. There's little bunnies that fell out of one of the designs, so I saved those in case I want to put those on some of the eggs. There's these little tiny eggs, which I'm not going to use those little tiny eggs in this card. It's going to be in a follow-up card coming in a couple of weeks, so or maybe in a month. We'll see. But we're going to use those little eggs on something else. So I'm pulling out all my flowers, my bunny ears. I think these bunny ears are just adorable to put on top of your eggs. I think they're just the cutest. So I have all those little pieces, and then I have my greeting, and I did stack my greeting. So I have 2 layers on my greeting. You can see for my flowers, I just cut the flowers and then I cut centers for those flowers as well. So here you have me kind of laying out my eggs and got them kind of where I want them, and I'm going to start gluing down these eggs in place. I'm starting with the bottom layer, and I just tuck that in there. And I wanted the eggs to be kind of at the bottom of this card. Kind of ashamed to cover up all that stenciling, but really I wanted the stenciling just to be the background, so um, it makes a cute background for all these pastel eggs. So as I added these eggs in place, some on the top layers, I started adding a little bit of foam tape on the backs of those so that they're popped up just a little bit, a little higher than some of the ones behind them. Adds kind of a stacked look then to the eggs, gives them a little bit more stacked look. You can see I added ears to the one egg over on the right hand side. Once I had those in place, I decided I wanted to put the flowers kind of above the eggs and kind of overlapping a little bit. So I just wanted to cluster up some of these pastel flowers kind of coming out of my pile of eggs. And you could curl these petals of these flowers if you wanted to. Mine kind of popped up, and I'm only putting glue in the center of these flowers on that center area. So the petals can pop up if you want to pull them up a little more. I'm probably going to leave them mostly flat. They will naturally pop up a little bit, um, which will be nice, but I'm not going to intentionally pop them out because this will probably go in the mail and will be flattened when it gets mailed anyway. And then once I have my flowers in place, I have my Easter greetings, which I'm going to put at the top of the card. Just glue that in place. I'm using my reverse tweezers to make sure that I get the glue on there. It's an easy way to hold things and add the glue to this. This card really did not take a whole lot of time. I mean, you have to do the die cutting, but once you get, your colors picked out, you can die cut these eggs pretty quickly. You can just put a whole bunch of all the pieces on, one color like a yellow, and then come back and put all the pieces on a pink and all the pieces on a purple, and then you can kind of mix them up and make the eggs as you go. So just enjoy the process of die cutting, all the different colors, and then you've got lots of different ones to use for several cards that you would want to make. You can just mix them up as you want. Added the greetings so that it kind of went down almost into the flowers, and then we'll just add the Easter above that. And there you have an easy and fun Easter greetings card. I am going to put it, I did cut my base down before I started adding my eggs on there. I had cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I am going to add it to a green card base. You could have left it full size, but I thought it looked good with the green card base. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed and happy crafting.